Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm Revisited. This is episode number 36, and we are back into the action. It's game day number 3. We're playing 6 game days per season this particular calendar year, and the girls are looking quite nice here. We've fed them this morning and I just need to give them some water, so we have to walk over here to our hydrant and give that a turn, and then we're good to go. All right. Hope you all have enjoyed the revisited, rebooted Lone Oak Farm series. This is the 3rd episode that I've put out, and if you've missed episode number um, let's see, well, this is 36. So if you missed episode number 34 and 35, which is sort of my re-debut back into producing content for YouTube, catch those because I kind of filled in on what all has been going on and that sort of stuff over the past more than 12 months. And and anyway, you can catch that. So we've got a lot of chores to do um, before before really we can get into planting. Let's take a look at our task list here. Let's just walk into the office here. Billy Bob is already out working, but you see the task list over there on the wall? No, you can't see that. Okay, well let me see if I can make that bigger for you. All right, so we've got Billy Bob out right now, and he is plowing fields 43 and fields 45. Those did not get plowed last cycle, and so they need to be plowed, and so that they will, obviously produce the maximum amount of crop. We're also going to look at combining fields number 30, 31, and 32, and I'll show you on the map here in just a moment what I'm talking about with making those fields into one large field. Jack is going to be prepping the seeder, which is already in the maintenance bay. He'll bring around the big M, the rake, tedder, baler, all that mowing equipment as well, and get that going. I'm going to cultivate field number 28 today during at least a portion of this video. And of course, we've already, I spoke about in the previous episode about trying to figure out what our planting plan, our crop plan was going to be for this particular year. And we've already got winter wheat in fields 31 and 43, and those are right out in front of the shop area here, and they're fertilized 100% because we did that yesterday. And we're going to put after I cultivate field number 28, we're gonna plant barley most likely in field number 28, and of course that will come in slightly after the wheat, possibly the winter wheat, anyways, and then possibly looking at putting canola into the large field that we're going to create by combining field 30, 31, and 32, and we'll get Billy Bob over there to do all of that and get that set up for us when he gets finished with his chores that he's working on now. So let's grab another cup of coffee and head out to the John Deere tractor, and I think we need to fuel it up, and then we're going to go pick up the cultivator, and then we will head over and start cultivating our field that we've assigned ourselves. All right, so we're almost filled up with fuel. Looks like this tractor is going to need a little bit of maintenance before we get into the hot and heavy season as well. So we'll make sure we get that on the task list for Jack to get done. And as I've kind of set up these characters, Billy Bob, as I've explained in previous episodes or previous previous versions of various maps that I've played. Billy Bob is an old childhood friend of mine, and so is Jack. And so I've kind of brought those individuals into my gameplay. Typically work uh, with two full-time farm employees, those being, as I said, Jack and Billy Bob, and sometimes if need be, and I think we did this last year. We hired in some additional contract labor if we got kind of behind with some things, and we can always do that again this year, and maybe we'll get lucky and get an extra combine or something over here as well, because again we've kind of collected an additional field or two since we did all those harvest recordings, which I had so eloquently forgot about. Um, when I had recorded the first revisited video, I completely forgot that I had recorded those, and I told you all what happened. And I looked at the I went and looked at the playlist in YouTube, the Lone. And if I say this map Lone Tree, please, I will apologize and please forgive me. There is a town that is right next to the portion of Denver that I live in called Lone Tree, Colorado. And if I call this map Lone Tree, and I think I possibly have, it is simply because of that. I'm just, again, middle-aged man syndrome. But anyway, in the previous episodes of Lone Oak that I had recorded, I went out and looked at that playlist, and I drilled into the playlist, and the playlist only had 6 or 7 episodes, maybe 8 episodes, something like that. I can't remember the exact number that I could see, and I just completely spaced it, and I thought, okay, well, I guess that's all the episodes that we've done on it, and I've played this map around the seasons, around the calendar, um, more than once, a couple of times off camera, just for my own enjoyment, because for me, this is my highlight map um, for 19. As much like I enjoyed Lawfolds in Farm Sim 17, Colborough Park in Farm Sim 15, this map, Lone Oak, and I almost did it again. I almost called it Lone Tree. Lone Oak um, it has been my absolute favorite, most enjoyable map to play in Farm Sim 19. But anyway, as I was saying, I looked at that playlist, and that playlist had 6 episodes, 8 episodes, something like that, and I'm like, wow, I thought I did more. I remember, obviously I remember doing the harvesting and stuff like that on the map. I just didn't remember that I had made YouTube videos out of that content, and so I made that first re-debut video, or whatever, the revisited video, and I said in the video that only did 6 or 8 episodes on this map, and didn't even showcase harvesting on the map, which was a complete error on my part, because we did harvest on the map. We harvested quite a bit on the gameplay on YouTube, but because I couldn't see those videos, I failed to remember, because my mind is, a middle-aged 55-year-old brain, and couldn't remember. So, contrary to what I had said in that video, I then determined, because I went and looked in some other resources that I have, that I kind of keep track of what I've done videos on and the number of episodes and stuff like that, I started seeing evidence that I had actually done quite a few episodes on this map for Farm Sim 19. And I went into YouTube, and I'm like, okay, have those videos been deleted? What's going on? Um, and um, and I saw that they had became disconnected after like the 6th or 8th episode or whatever. They weren't connected to the playlist anymore, even though I'm pretty sure that they eventually, at one time they were connected. So don't really know if that's just a Google YouTube glitch that they just became disconnected, or but I don't know. But anyway, they're all reconnected again in the correct order, and we are just going to churn along with making these revisited videos for, as long as I am enjoying it, uh, in addition to my own enjoyment of Farm Sim 22 when I get my hands on that. Now, in the real world, it is Saturday, the 20th of November, so 2 more days. We've got to go through Sunday and then Monday, the 22nd, before Farm Sim 22 is available. Now, from what I understand, and I can't remember, if you guys remember uh, correctly, um, for me, if your brains are not at quite as middle-aged, senile as mine evidently is, you guys may remember, some of you long time viewers of my channel, you may remember that when Farm Sim 19 came out, Giants released Farm Sim 19 right around Thanksgiving of 2018. Okay, and this, I had went to Texas for Thanksgiving. This was obviously pre-pandemic, when one could travel without even thinking about it, and visit family, and not have any government official tell you what you can and can't do with your life. But anyway, that's not for the content of this video. But it released while I was away in Texas. My wife and I had driven down to Texas to visit my mom and dad, and it's kind of, if hindsight, I was probably in a rush to get back home to play Farm Sim 19, which would have downloaded. I would be able to download once I got home, and of course that was the very last holiday that I spent with my mom before she passed away in early 2019. But anyway, that came out while I was away, so I couldn't remember. Then I'm going back to having to think about, okay, well, what can I remember from Farm Sim 17 when it released? And that's just been too long ago. I've just had way too many sleep cycles and everything else between that time and now. But apparently, long story short, what I'm slowly trying to get to is that, apparently, on Steam, and I ordered the Steam version just because it's easier for me to keep up with, license keys and stuff, because basically I don't need to keep up with license keys and stuff. Everything is saved in the Steam cloud, and if I ever need to rebuild a machine, reimage a hard drive or whatever, all I've got to do is just back up my game saves and then reinstall Steam and download everything. But apparently the Steam pre-release, or the game will release on Steam sometime my time on Sunday evening. I think like 6 p.m. or something like that, because it's all based on, obviously the game releases on the 22nd, wherever Giants is headquartered, Germany or wherever, Switzerland, or wherever they're based. So that is going to be, the 22nd of November appears in Europe before it appears here. So it's going to be sometime, I think, 6-7 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. So what my plans are, because my wife is on vacation as of now, she comes back to work. She goes back to work the Monday after Thanksgiving, so she's off all next week. And so my time is going to be a little bit limited, because even though we are not going out of town for Thanksgiving, we are going to do some things. We've got a couple of projects that we're going to do. She wants to begin the Christmas decorations and stuff like that. And so it when it does release on Sunday evening, most likely what I will do is come down to the man cave, fire up the gaming machine, and basically let it install, let it load the game and everything, and let it install, and then hopefully Monday morning I'll be able to get some time with the game with Farm Sim 22. And again, I'm not making any commitments at all whatsoever as far as what I'm going to be doing, what my plans are going forward with producing content. I'm not even considering myself to really be back full time or even part time at this particular juncture. It really depends on several factors. I need to get through this upcoming holiday week when my wife is on vacation because my schedule. Obviously, I'm on vacation every day because I'm retired, but because she's not working, I've got to fit my activities, my free time, the time that I would normally spend on hobbies. I've got to, kind of fit that around when she's not doing anything or not doing things that she wants me involved with, tasks or help or whatever. It may just be watching a movie or whatever. I take the time that I spend with my wife as very precious time because we just don't know. We don't know how much time we have on this earth, and so I'm not going to be down gaming while she's relaxing or whatever. I try to spend as much time with her as possible. But as far as seeing Farm Sim 22 content on the channel, um, it's really going to depend on how the game is. And again, I've watched more videos since even the last time that we were together in the previous episode. Watched more videos on the new gameplay and everything. Really still like what I see and everything like that, but it's really going to depend on um, how much I enjoy playing the base vanilla game without some of the mods that you know I enjoy playing with. It's not always about just because you like having the GPS mod, even though I'm not using it right now. I guess I'm practicing not having the GPS mod, so I can cultivate in a somewhat straight line, even though I don't think it's very straight. But at least I'm not leaving any major gaps. Um, but I enjoy those mods, and as I've said before, there's no right or wrong way to play these games. And if that's what you enjoy, then do it. Go for it. Same as if you enjoy, playing the role of farm manager and just using Courseplay to, instruct your workers to do everything that needs to be done. If that's what you enjoy about it, then go for it. Because who's to say that that's right or wrong? Because it's not. Because there are people that don't do anything other than say go do this and go do that, and that is somewhat the way some people play. Is 100% Courseplay. Everything is done with Courseplay, and my hat's off to them. I enjoy Courseplay as well, and I use it probably 50-60% of my gameplay is using Courseplay. And it may be something as simple as setting up Courseplay to run the combine, and I run the loading wagons, the auger wagons, or plowing the field like Billy Bob is doing right now. Courseplay allows me to have a storyline that I can sort of convey to you, the viewer, the watcher, the listener, and it allows me to do the things that I do. So let's see, we're about 19 some odd minutes into this episode. I'm not going to keep you very long because it's early Saturday morning. As I said, the 20th, the sun is not even up yet. Uh, Looking behind me at my window in my basement, I can see enough daylight, even though it's at ground level or a little bit above ground level. It doesn't. We don't have any problems with flooding or anything like that through the window. But I can look behind me because I'm where I'm facing with my desk and everything. I'm facing a wall that behind that wall is dirt. I'm well below the ground in this particular position, but behind me I've got a window that I can see, and I can see sunshine, daylight if the sun is up, and it's still dark outside. So it's before 6 o'clock, I think, on Saturday morning. The joys of being retired, because I think, before, if I was working 50 hours a week, Saturday mornings was difficult to get up early, because, well, I had been getting up early, 5 days before that, and working and stresses and staying up late and working various projects across different, time zones and all that stuff. But I am I am enjoying retirement, and I will possibly talk a little bit more about that in previous episodes, perhaps, um, about some of the things that I've kind of been doing. I kind of gave you a high level overview in the previous episodes, but I tell you, I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm not to brag or anything like that, because I know that you know many people began working at a very young age, just like I did. But I had been working since I was about 15 years, well, probably about 12 years old. I started mowing lawns, mowing my parents, the yard where I lived, the house that I grew up in, mowing that, mowing my aunts, my grandmother's yards at about 12 or 13. Began working in a convenience store at about 15. I was a little bit probably too young, but the owner of the convenience store was a family friend. He grew up right across the street from where I lived, and he owned a little convenience store, and I would come in and do odd jobs and stuff for for cash. He paid me cash for many years, until I got old enough to where that he then began paying me with a check and withholdings and all that kind of stuff. But been doing that, and then worked all the way through school, worked through college, and began working right out of college. And so it's I've been working for a long time, and being able to retire at 54, 55 years old. And I know other professions like government employees, military folks often get the opportunity to retire early after 20 something years of service or whatever. But good feeling, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm not letting it go to waste. I'm generally quite busy doing something, whether it's gaming for a little bit every day. Obviously, that will lend into producing video content for YouTube, um, learning the bass guitar, doing some woodworking in the summer and fall months, when the climate outside in the garage will allow that sort of stuff. In other words, I'm keeping my mind and my body as active as possible. Um, and that was one of the key reasons why I wanted to learn to play bass. It was something that I had wanted to do when I was a younger person, and I bought a bass one time at a pawn shop. And of course, this was well before the age of YouTube, where everything that you wanted to know, you could find a video about it. And I had a friend that played guitar, and he tried to help me a little bit, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind. I wasn't in the right place in my life to try to understand something like that. And of course, um, I had musical experience, both as a young person learning to play the piano when I was about 9 or 10 years old, to being in the school, elementary, junior high, high school band in school, and even playing in a stage band out of after school, after high school, for a year or two. But completely different, playing a wind instrument, alto saxophone, which is what I played in elementary, junior high, and high school band, and the after school stage band. But going from that to a string instrument like the guitar or bass, obviously there's a learning curve, a little bit of a learning curve. But I'm working my way through some online content, some online videos, and watching some YouTube videos, and just kind of trudging along and enjoying it. I'm enjoying the time that I spend. Well, I was going to wrap things up, and then I started going down that rabbit hole. So I am going to begin to wrap things up so that I can get this episode edited and get it uploaded to you. I believe that you will see it before Thanksgiving. So I know I'm repeating myself because I never know what's going to be the last episode before Thanksgiving, and I just want to make sure that I convey that special greeting to each of my viewers, especially those of you in the U.S. who will celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday. I hope that you have a very nice and safe Thanksgiving holiday. If you're traveling, be safe. If you're just going out in public, be safe always with this virus that's going on and everything. And I will see you back here on YouTube that when that time comes. So take good care of yourself, and God bless you all. And I will speak to you back here on Lone Oak Farm for our next episode at some point in time in the future. Bye for now.